last episode, Emily was forced to fight the infected on life and death. She accidentally triggered an alarm that created hordes of infected people who flocked to the scene. She survived physically, but her psyche and mental health have pushed her down completely. The motivation to perhaps find clues and research on a cure for a virus inside the hospital keeps driving her further. She managed to secure the areas around the hospital and also found a vehicle with associated keys. Unfortunately, the tank was empty, and if she doesn't find any petrol, the car will be unusable. Determined to keep going after securing the areas, the hospital is next in line, and hopefully Emily will find something that can give hope for a cure. Welcome to Chapter 2, Fort Redstone, the Hospital, Day 6, Episode 7. Memory flashes. It haunts her while resting and cooking meat. Tears pour down her cheeks. Yet still determined, she must continue to push herself. Emily heads back to her room. To calm down, she grabs a book from the shelf and decides to sit down a bit and read. Just about half an hour later, the book goes back into the shelf and she heads out again. Determined to continue to try and get into the hospital. Emily stops by the front door and listens. Hey! Anyone here? Carefully, she speaks loudly to see and the tracks infected nearby. Infected seems to hear her and comes from the north door. Emily runs away to keep them at distance. Seems to float from the north entrance. Should go closer there. Since she does not want to go close to the entrance, she takes the leap over the sandbags but does not see the barbed wire and gets a really deep bleeding wound in the thigh. The pain in her thigh is unbearable, and lame, she's forced to retreat. She cannot stay here now. She discovered that the gun she was holding in her hand is gone. She takes out her knife in her hand, tries to find her pistol. She cannot find the gun. An infected suddenly appears from the entrance. Lame Emily slowly begins to move to safety. But more infected people follow her. Bandage to the wound bleeds through quickly. This wound, it really needs to be sutured. She limps back to safety. She picks up the bloody bandages and cleans them so they can be used again. The pain is unbearable. Well, back in her room, she looks for a surgeon needle to soothe the wound, but she can't really find one. She takes the first aid kit and starts heading towards the kitchen. The wound bleeds through the bandage all the time. This is really bad. I need energy. Emily must make sure that her body is filled with energy and hopes that the wound will soon get better if she can rest and take it easy. The wound keeps bleeding through the bandage. She makes sure the bandage are clean. She sits down and eats. Shh. she just remembers. Didn't she found a regular sewing needle and a thread earlier? I think I stuffed them in the bookshelf in the room. I think I have a needle there. I could probably use that to stitch the wound. Lame. She immediately starts to limp back to her room. Continuously need to change her bandage. Yes, needle. She takes the needle and thread. She opens the bandage and starts sewing the wound. The pain is unbearable. She managed it. She then bandaged the stitch. And now all she can do is rest and take it easy. She takes a bite of that meat, grabs a book and read. Late in the evening, the wound seems to heal nicely. She's feeling better and starts to get ready to get into bed. She goes to the bed. Sets the alarm and falls asleep. But in the middle of the night, she wakes up from the horrors of the present. She decides not to sleep anymore. Get ready and go out again this early morning hour. Her mood is subdued. She mutters to herself of the situation, of everything feels so helpless. Every now and then, she cannot help but complain about the situation and mutters loudly to herself. She advances cautiously forward. Emily shoots with a rifle. The shots attract several infected. she decides to take an approach of the northern courtyard of the hospital. Once inside the northern courtyard of the hospital, the shots attract many infected people nearby. She's forced to flee from the stream of infected and muttering. She keeps her distance a little safer. The large horde of infected people pushes back Emily. After 2 hours of fighting, she's back in the area around the parking lot. Dead bodies are scattered throughout the parking lot. Emily's mood is drastically lowered. With a blank stare, she continues like a robot to fight them. After 11 o'clock in the morning, she decides to return to safety. She has picked up a lot of things from all the dead bodies, and she has to unload. And at the same time, she decides to do some sorting and organize things. Everything is a mess in the room and she needs to fix this. Finally, around 4 o'clock, she's completely exhausted from all the sorting and organizing and decides that she needs to take a nap. Once in bed, she decides to take off her bandages, and it looks like her wounds underneath have healed nicely. Only the suit and the thighs left. The alarm wakes her up at 6 o'clock in the evening. She gets up to get ready. She goes muttering to the armory and decide that this place also needs some sorting and organizing. At 8 o'clock, she's out again. Her mood is low, but she is determined to move on. The hospital is the goal. Stop muttering to herself. Her brain feels disconnected and absent from reality. All the dead scattered. The smell of rotten bodies. She continues. The shots from the rifle attracts more infected people inside the hospital. Large numbers of infected people starts to flood from the north entrance. Filled with even more dead infected. Emily has hard time concentrating. An infected person behind her almost managed to get a grip on her, but she managed to slip away. Lots of infected stream straight towards Emily, and she's forced to retreat towards safety. At 11 o'clock in the evening, she stands and shoots the remaining infected nearby her safety place. Tired and exhausted, she takes the fight and puts the end to the last infected. Some infected inside. With the last infected dead, she heads back to her room. And she has decided to take a shower before bed. She cleaned the outerwear and leave them in the room. Emily is surprised by something in the room outside. She quickly draws her knife and ends the life of the infected. She does not want dead bodies here, so she moves it to the entrance room and then continues towards the kitchen to get a piece of food. Once under running hot water, she has hard time collecting all the impressions and thoughts. All she sees are dead bodies everywhere. With a shower and clean clothes against the skin, it still feels a little better. She heads back to her room for the night, dazed by the day. She goes to bed. Sets the alarm early in the morning and falls asleep.